Welcome back to A Good Day in Northern Michigan. Overcoming addiction, low self-esteem, and former criminal lifestyle, it can be challenging, but you don't have to take on that challenge alone.
A husband and wife duo, Michael Williams and Lernell Williams, found helping those that struggle with those issues by making minor adjustment. Michael is an author of 10 publications, recovery coach, and drug and alcohol counselor. His wife, Lernell, is the director in nursing all the way here from New Jersey.
Yeah. Welcome.
Thank you guys for making it a good day in Northern Michigan.
Yes.
And we want to welcome you here. And you guys have a lot of life experiences. Tell us what went into those experiences that brought you to where you are today.
Well, the first, for 22 years of my life, I struggled with crack cocaine and heroin. And for the last 13 years, I have been delivered from that situation. And I dedicated my life to helping the individuals who are in the same situation that I once was. And during that time, I created a program called the Minor Adjustments Program. And that particular program helps individual. We do like 8-week course, and we come in and we teach about purpose, surrendering, visualizing, endurance, and humility. And we teach them about making like minor changes that they need in their life to put them on a path of a better life than the life that they were currently living.
First, I want to congratulate you from making that decision because you have to make the decision to overcome any type of addiction. So I want to congratulate you on that and continuing to stay on that path. What do you feel like made you make that change? What was that determining factor, that moment that said, okay, I have to stop today and do something different?
Oh, that was clearly the day that I knew that I totally had to change. Was my wife. I was on the bench, and my wife, normally when I was struggling with drugs, my wife would come around running in the streets looking for me to try to bring me back home, to try to get me help. This particular day, I was sitting on this bench. She was in front of me at a red light in the car. When she was in the car, I'm looking at her. I know her pattern is to come get me and bring me home. But she's looking, and I'm like, I'm right here. And she rides off. And the reason why she rode off, because my face features had changed so much, she didn't recognize me. That's when I knew, like, I got to do something.
So Lernell, what position were you in that you were still trying to chase him and follow him? Like, were you already married at that time?
Actually, no. We got married in the last rehab that he was in.
Okay, so did you meet him through the rehab program?
He was. I didn't know when I met him he hid these things from me. So it was almost 2 years into a relationship that I noticed, wait, this beautiful man is different. Something's going on.
Now, is that something that's common though with these kinds of issues, that people will be able to hide these kind of things?
I think it's common in any relationship. When you first meet someone, you want to show them the best of you. You know, by the time you give them the worst, some time in, and the person loves you by this time, so then that's what, I just remember this beautiful person, so now he's got this struggle. I want that beautiful person back, so let me do what I think I can do to help him.
And it takes an incredible amount of courage to help, to first go through these things, and also to be somebody who's keeping them accountable. Tell us how that happened and how you went through that with him.
I did 11 rehabs with this guy because he was a mess.
She wasn't all that. She was a mess too.
It took, dealing with it took a lot. First of all, it took me realizing that I couldn't help him. I mean, I did 11 rehabs, so his family had did rehabs prior to that. And I remember one time telling him, if your mother's tears couldn't help you, why do I think my tears can? So something had to happen where God had to get me to myself and get him to himself, and he had to deal with both of us individually and then bring us back together. And that, I had my own issues.
Is that something, Michael, that you have to like kind of lift yourself up by the bootstraps? And you have. I mean, obviously, your faith played a big role in this.
Absolutely.
But you just kind of have to. You recognize it yourself. How did you lift yourself and be able to go through this?
I always knew that it was something great in me, or I was supposed to do something. I didn't know what that something was. My parents always poured into me that I wrote 10 books. Before I wrote one book, my parents told me I was going to write books. But when they told me that, I was on drugs. So I thought they were using. I'm like, they might be, something's wrong. But I knew that I had to, my faith is my foundation. but I knew I had to get myself, pull up myself by the bootstraps to get myself on that foundation. No matter how much foundation or how many times people tell me that God can change you and do this, I still had to take myself to the foundation and be built up from my foundation. So it's going to take the person getting themselves in that position.
Now, your most recent book is called Anywhere But Backwards, and I have it here. And you feel like your primary purpose is to teach men and women how to make those minor adjustments that are necessary for their lives. So tell me, what am I going to find in this book? Because I see this is like a tutorial. This is like a workbook.
I was gonna say, there's stuff to fill out in here.
Yeah.
That's actually the workbook we use when we do the groups.
Yeah, that's the curriculum that we use for each lesson. We go in and we teach about endurance and we teach about all types of stuff, but our motto is anywhere but backwards. So in that book, it has a lot of different questions, but each person is going to answer those questions differently.
Yeah.
So I wrote the book with the mindset of when I was in rehab. And these are the questions that I have and that a lot of loved ones don't understand, that the person that they're trying to help has questions. They are thinking something that you just focus on the substance, and it's bigger than just that substance. So in the book, I put questions in there how I was thinking when I was actively using, and every time people get that book, even if they're not struggling with a particular substance or alcohol, you can be struggling with anger and still answer the question accordingly, you know, because it's not just substance.
Why do people use drugs?
Everybody has a host of things. You can you could say, some person say, well, I only have one parent. Okay, I got a client that has two parents, right? And then you have another person say, well, they say because I'm black, I can't achieve this. And then, you know, people use a lot of different reasons why they do it, but it's always a personal thing that I focus on getting down to the core, I call it. Get down to the core of why you did what you did, because you can't basically blame somebody. It's all individual decisions that we make for doing it.
And this is your 10th book, right?
Yes, that's actually my 5th book.
That's your 5th book.
But I got 10 books.
You've got 10 books. Okay, so what's up next?
Next our next move for minor adjustments is our program. We go in 2 facilities. When we go into these facilities, we don't have grants. We're a nonprofit organization. We faith-based. We do things. We have people who support us, and they're pouring into the things they see us doing. They know we're genuine. So what's next is we want to go from going to facilities to teach the clients, to participants that we're teaching, to opening up like minor justice transitional housing, which the people can come home and come to our program and help them during the path.
I really appreciate what both of you are doing with minor adjustments, and I love the fact that you are a husband and wife doing this together and finding that partnership and that value in each other. And I know that your spirit, your religion plays a role, because there are people that like to facilitate something like this, but if you don't have the religious grounding to make this work, people won't receive it. So I do hope that people will continue to receive the work that you're doing. Congratulations to both of you. Thank you for sticking with him. Thank you for sticking with her. And I'll tell you what, we did not dress alike today because I thought we did not plan this today.
She made me stand in between so that you'd break up the blue a little bit.
Yes, I'm like, we're not a singing group, but
Michael and Lernell, we are so glad that you could be with us. Again, minor adjustments. Great to be able to go through this program and check it out, and we're going to have more information about this on 9and10news.com. And you are watching Good Day Northern Michigan.